Everybody travels, but I'm different. I'm Josh Ogilvy and I travel with Getaway. To me, Getaway is about getting lost and finding myself.
So this time we'll take you to Josh's homeland, Australia, and visit Brisbane, the capital city of Queensland.
Here's what we've got for you.
Brisbane River kayaking, koala cuddling, kangaroo feeding, stunning countryside views, a hot air balloon ride, delicious steak, local cooking school,
and much more. So what are you waiting for?
Getaway with Getaway to Brisbane. Welcome to Brisbane, Queensland's subtropical capital city on the winding Brisbane River. Boasting stunning city views and exciting river adventures, Brisbane is the third most popular destination for international tourists after Sydney and Melbourne. It's also undoubtedly the state's main centre of economy, education and culture. Enjoy a relaxing urban lifestyle right here in Brisbane. And our adventure starts right here on the Brisbane River.
The people of Queensland are a fantastically active bunch. I mean, they just love the great outdoors. Look around me here. And one of the best places to really get your adventure on is here at River Life. Life jackets on, so now it's time to hit the water. One of the main features of Brisbane is the fantastic river that runs or snakes its way right through it. And it's just great to be able to get right down at water level here. You've got the city right behind you. You've got, people running along the boardwalk beside you. And look, it really is just, it's a fantastic way to, like I said, to get out and adventure and see what this great city has to offer. So the standard kayak tour takes about an hour and a half and it takes you all the way down to the river. Of course, coming back you're against the current and that's slightly harder work, but still, it's a great workout and it's great fun. And even though the water's a little murky and not really the sort of thing I'd like to fall into, the guys around here are very experienced and I can assure you, they'll drag you out quickly.
If you're no good at kayaking, here's another way to explore the Brisbane River. Taking the Koala and River Cruise. This 1-hour cruise is the perfect way to enjoy the sights of Brisbane's most attractive waterfront suburbs. And the destination is the world's first and largest koala sanctuary, Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary. Here you'll encounter a large variety of Aussie wildlife, all in beautiful and natural settings. But the biggest star is always the cuddly koala.
Now this is pretty exciting because even though I've lived in Australia for my whole life, I've never actually got this close to touching a gorgeous koala bear. Now we are joined by the very, very adorable little Teresa and Teresa's handler, is that what you call yourself?
Yeah.
Jill, who is going to tell us a little bit about this gorgeous little marsupial.
Well, this is Teresa. She's 9 years old. So that's a little bit oldish, I suppose, for a koala. I would just say that they live for about 8 to 10 years in the wild. But places like Lone Pine and other captive sanctuaries, it's more likely to be about 12 to 14.
Okay, so they have a very good, healthy life here.
Yes, absolutely.
Now this place is pretty special, is that it's one of the only places, or the only place in Australia, where you can actually hold the koala?
Not the only place in Australia, but I think only the ones within Queensland can actually hold.
And it's also the biggest koala sanctuary in Australia?
That's right, world's largest and world first.
And how many koalas have you got here?
We've got just over 100 now.
Now why is it that the koalas spend so much of their day sleeping?
That's a really good question because most people think it's because they are drunk or inebriated. created from eucalyptus leaf. It's actually because there's very low energy in the leaf.
So I think a lot of people must look at you and say you've got one of the best jobs in the world. What do you love about coming to work here every day?
Probably my favourite thing about working with animals is the bonds that you form, particularly if you have someone that are in training or that you are using in a certain way like that, just developing that trust with them, getting to know them and their personality. All of these guys are very individual and they all have their own name as well, so having that bond and that trust with the animal I think is what's the favourite part of the day.
In Lone Pine, you not only spot koalas lazing in the trees, but you can also hold them in your arms.
I just need you standing on those
Okay, stand on the koala paws.
like that, and
Sure.
we're just going to make a seat with your hands today,
Okay.
so nice and flat on
Like
top
that?
of each other. Yeah, we just need you to stay very, very still there.
Sure.
This is Koala.
Hello, Koala.
He's one of our male koalas.
Oh, fantastic.
He's about 6 years old,
All right.
and he's just going to sit on top of your hands.
Hello, Koala. How are you, mate?
Just sit like that.
Oh, isn't he gorgeous? Very, very cute. I actually just Weiboed a photo of one of the koalas and somebody asked me to say what it, to tell what it smells like. So I think he just smells like eucalyptus, which is what they eat all day. So it's kind of his overriding scent.
He produces his own scent.
Yeah.
So that's the oil that he makes.
Hello.
Very unique kind of smell.
Yep. Hello, mate. Hello. Oh, very cute.
Koalas are not the only animals exclusive to Australia. There's another, perhaps even more precious species, the platypus. And we want to see what these creatures' lives are all about in the sanctuary.
All right, Josh, so we're behind the scenes of our platypus house now.
Yep.
Not too many people get to come back here, so it's pretty special.
Okay.
So you can see all these pipes running along the back walls.
Yep.
That is our platypus's pretend burrow system, basically.
Right,
so when
okay.
he's ready to go to bed each night, he'll travel through them as though he'd be going through burrow made of dirt
Yep.
out alongside his riverbank in the wild, come all the way along through. These little timber boxes behind us, that's where he sleeps each night. So they're lined with nice soft towels and sheepskin blankets because
Yep.
he's nice and spoilt.
Okay.
And that's where he likes to sleep each night. One of his favourite sleeping positions is actually on his back with his little towel tucked around.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Now, does he have somebody to tuck him in, or does he do that himself?
No, he does that himself. He manages quite nicely.
And now, by night, you of course mean in the daytime, right?
That's exactly right. During our day, he currently thinks it's night time.
That's right.
The lights are nice and dim.
Because they are nocturnal, so out in the wild they would be swimming around during the night time.
Most likely more active
Yep.
during that time,
Yep.
exactly right. And then when it's our night time, we put the lights on nice and bright, and that's his cue to get ready to head out to bed.
Usually the platypus is fed with fresh crayfish, but today we're lucky enough to see the feeder preparing some fresh worms for presentation. You are not allowed to feed the platypus, but fear not, there are plenty of animal feeding opportunities where our furry friends are just longing for your food.
So this little guy that is eating from me right now, he's probably only just left his mum, so he's what we call a little Joey. Now, this particular breed is a big red kangaroo, so given time, he's actually going to develop a lot of red colour. Hello, mate. Oh, you're a smart one, aren't you? You've just gone straight into the bag. But like I said, they're little babies at the moment. Doesn't stop them having a good appetite. This is really one of the lovely things about coming and visiting this sanctuary. I mean, I've lived in Australia my whole life, but this is the first time I've ever, had little baby Joeys sort of jumping around me and had the chance to feed them. And, whether you're Australian like me or whether you're visiting from overseas, this really is a special experience.
If you are a fan of wildlife, don't miss Lone Pine while you're in Brisbane.
Before you go, be in the know.
A 1.5-hour day kayaking in the Brisbane River costs $39. A 1.5-hour Friday and Saturday night kayaking costs you $49. Koala and river cruises depart from the Culture Centre at 10 a.m. and from Lone Pine at 1:45 p.m. Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary opens daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the entry is $33 for the day or $62 for an annual pass. Cuddle a koala any time of the day until 4:30 p.m. and have your photo taken.
Coming up next on Getaway.
Where to get out of the city? What are these things on the hill? Where is Josh watching these stunning views from?
So don't go away. Getaway will be right back.
Getaway with Getaway to Brisbane. Brisbane not only offers prosperous urban attractions. Just an hour's drive from Brisbane, you can get to Spicer's Hidden Vale, situated on a green and peaceful farm in southeast Queensland country. It is a unique country Australian adventure getaway, offering some of life's intimate pleasures.
Spicer's Hidden Vale is on about 12,000 acres, and let me tell you, that's a pretty big property. Now, there are 3 great ways to explore the property, depending exactly on how far you want to explore. You've got bicycles, you've got horseback, and of course, there's the 4-wheel drive. And do what we're going to do now, which is meet the beef. Is that right, Brett?
That's right.
Fantastic. So Brett's one of the guides here on the property, and he's really the man to show you around, be it on horseback or 4-wheel drive, and he's going to take us for a bit of a tour now. Let's go for a drive. Tell us a bit about yourself. How long have you been working here for?
I've been here for 12 years,
12 years?
Mainly helping out in the activities areas. It's great to be in the outdoors and a lot of fun meeting new people.
I can imagine, absolutely. So what's the history of this region?
Yeah, well this area was settled in the early 1800s, 1850s, and Queensland became a state, and the government split up a lot of the land for settlement to encourage farming, and people came out, and this was quite a large holding. At the time it was 8,000 acres, and it's pretty well been a cattle property all the way through.
The trip of Meet the Beef might not sound so attractive until, that is, the magical scenery is spread out in front of you.
And so you were saying you've got about 700 cattle on the station?
Yeah, they're breeding cattle. They're all cows. So by the time they all have a calf every year, you know, we can have up to 1,400, 2,000 cattle on the property.
Yep.
So this is a breeding property, so we raise them up to about 12 months old,
right,
and then we send them to the markets where they're bought and then moved on to other properties to be fattened.
Right.
Besides the 4WD tour, there are plenty of activities you can enjoy here, including trying your hand at the medieval art of archery. Get away from the city's hustle and bustle. Spicer's Hidden Vale is the perfect place where you can enjoy the Australian-style country views on the ground. Well, the views should be even better up in the air. It is said that the hot air balloon ride can be the most thrilling experience you can do here. Josh is rather excited to try his very own first hot air balloon trip.
Now, we've been up since about 2:30 this morning, and let me tell you, there's not too many things that I like getting up that early for, but spending sunrise up here at 4,500 feet in a hot air balloon is certainly one of those things. This ride that we're on is taking us about half an hour, and basically we're just drifting across the valley wherever the wind takes us. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about a hot air balloon ride. You don't know where you're going to take off from, and you most certainly don't know where you're going to land. So it's quite an adventure, really. But the thing that I just find remarkable about these is how peaceful it is up here. I mean, well, of course, when the captain decides we need a bit of gas just to go a bit higher, but apart from that, it is just the most beautiful way to spend a morning.
A 30-minute trip costs around $300. And please remember to strictly follow the guide's instructions to ensure a safe hot air balloon trip.
Before you go, be in the know.
The Valley Room bed and breakfast package in Spicer's Hidden Vale costs $279 per night from Sunday to Thursday. You can enjoy various activities in Spicer's Hidden Vale, including horse riding, 4WD tours, archery and laser clay targets. The 30-minute hot air ballooning costs around $300 and 1 hour ballooning costs $600. You can book the trip on hotair.com.au. You can enjoy the 1824 rump 400 grams in Regatta Hotel for $29.9.
Coming up next on Getaway.
Where to eat the best steak in Brisbane? What's the secret behind a delicious steak? And what's Josh cooking?
So don't go away. Getaway will be right back.
Getaway with Getaway to Brisbane. Believe it or not, we are here in this historical restaurant to taste Brisbane's best steak.
Right, now Shane, these cuts of meat look pretty fantastic. I'll just get you, before we put them on the grill, to quickly explain what we've got here and how you're going to prepare it.
Okay, these are probably 4 of our 5 top steaks. What we've got here, this is the 1824 400 gram rump, 1824 300 gram rib. This is the rib on the bone, and this is the something special we have here is a Kobe eye of rump. Usually what we do, obviously we have the guy on the grill, we use olive oil and a little bit of clarified butter, season them up.
Yep.
Probably the trick is to have really good seasoning. We put quite a bit of salt on there,
Yep.
nice hot grill,
Yep.
and then away she goes. Then obviously try and cook them as close as we can. If the table's on hold, we'll cook it just under, let them rest along the top.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we have the other side of the grill's turned down a little bit lower, so when the steak gets caught away, quick little flash and over and on to the plate so they serve warm.
I must confess to absolutely loving my job, and one of the main reasons that's the case is because I get to eat fantastic foods wherever I go, and I am so excited about trying this particular beef. Now, what I have in front of me is the 1824 400 gram rump steak. The cattle are raised on natural grasses, and it's said to produce a meat of exceptional tenderness and flavour. Now, that's what they tell me, so let's put it to the test and see how good it is. Oh, and it is absolutely delicious, just as I described. The chefs here, they know what they're doing. They've cooked this meat absolutely to perfection. This has got to be one of the best meals you'll find in Brisbane, and one of the best things about it is I get to wash it all down with a glass of 4X. It's like sunshine in a glass.
If you're not satisfied with just tasting the food, you can also learn how to cook Australian cuisine at the local cooking school.
Here we are at James Street Cooking School, and I've got a very talented bar next to me, and tell us a little bit about what we've got in store now.
We're here today, we're going to cook 3 fabulous dishes. We're going to do some duck on the barbecue, which is a little bit unusual.
Yep.
With some beautiful coriander and some garlic and some pineapple. And then we're going to move into some fresh Mooloolaba prawns.
Fantastic. Where do we start?
All right, so we're going to do our duck first. So we're going to do a duck and a Bathonga Gold pineapple. What we need to do is we need to crush up some peppercorns. Okay, so we'll put them into our mortar and pestle.
Yep.
And then we need to do some garlic. We take the bottom off, okay? Knife on top, keep the sharp part away from you.
Yep.
And just lean on it. Give it a crack.
Yes.
Just grab the little pasty, give it a shake, and there we go. Easy enough. We'll do a couple of cloves of garlic into the mortar and pestle as well. Then we've got beautiful coriander roots. We'll give these a quick chop to make it a bit easier for you on the mortar and pestle.
So we're putting the roots in as well?
The roots, yeah, the roots are the best bit.
Is it sort of a different set of flavours to what you're getting on the rest of the plant?
It's a little bit milder compared to the leaf. The root's got this beautiful mellow coriander-y flavour to it.
Right.
So if you get that one bashed up, we'll cut up our duck. What we need to do is just gently, get that sinew off there. Can't use that. And then here, this big heavy bit, this is the wing, so it's quite a heavy working muscle.
Yep.
So you just get the tip of your knife under, get that sinew off.
Right.
Now what we're going to do is cut this into nice chunks. So you have to be a bit careful here because the flesh will separate from the skin.
Right.
So one smooth cut forward, hand on either side, hold it gently and just drag your knife backwards and you've got two beautiful pieces. Okay, and that skin's still beautifully attached. Now what we're going to do is just cut a couple of nice chunks, same technique, forward, back. If you go backwards and forwards when you're cutting meat, you end up with slash marks in the meat. It doesn't present nicely.
Yep.
Just use your fingers.
Yep.
Yeah, you weren't given fingers not to use them. Nice and gentle, we don't want that skin to fall off.
Okay.
Right, so now we have to cut some pineapple as well. Now the pineapple is quite unusual, but it works really beautifully with this dish.
Yep.
Now the chunks have to be smaller than the chunks of duck, because what we want is the duck to touch the grill so the skin goes crispy.
Right.
So when you put it on, here's a skewer for you.
Okay.
Make sure the skin all faces the same way.
Right,
So
okay.
that when we put it on the grill, it cooks nicely. So through, through so the skin sits on top.
Right, okay, so we're just going through the meat?
Yep, through the meat, leave the skin separate.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then there's a piece of pineapple for you. When you go through the pineapple, make sure you come out through that core. So that way it stays on.
Out to the middle again.
That's it. Then put another piece of duck on.
This same cooking method can be used on lime and lemongrass chicken salad. Combine sliced lime leaves, lemongrass and garlic. Mix the chicken and paste by hand. Then the previously skewered duck and chicken are grilled and the dish is ready.